Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or this is slightly tilted, isn't it? Yeah. Slightly off axis, just like me. Anyway, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're watching this from. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is Throwback Thursday, 5 and Drive with yours truly. I don't know why I keep hitting the seat in front of me. It's not for emphasis. Throwback Thursday, 5 and Drive with yours truly, a project that I started probably last November. I really need to look that up. For my kids, they can push play when I'm dead and gone and listen to the stupid shit their dad said and did. Pretty simple. Before I get into this week's story, I do want to say that I am not terminal. There's no weird disease sneaking up on me. I'm not doing these as a last-ditch effort to gather my shit together. I do need to gather my shit together. I've been doing that for a while, but it's not out of any pressing need. I'm not dying. Well, we're all dying. We just don't know when we're checking out, so to speak. Anyhow, let's get off the morbidity, if that's a word, morbidity. I'll have to look that up later. This episode, like many of them, is going to be about Japan because I grew up there. Well, I still haven't grown up, but I spent a lot of time there. About perceptions of Japan that a lot of people have. I was lucky growing up military that I had friends from pretty much every corner of the world. I had Iranian friends. I had friends from Israel. I had friends from Palestine. I had friends from Africa, from Europe, all over Europe, the UK, Germany, France, Scandinavia, the other side of the world. We had Vietnamese friends. It was awesome. And I had a friend in junior high school, Danny Cox. I wish I could find him. Just hasn't happened. Maybe I haven't tried hard enough. Middle school, Medina Air Base, Medina Annex, where OTS was at in San Antonio. He was half Japanese. Dad was American. Mom was Japanese. He had a sister. He had these little robot eraser things that his grandma would send him sometimes. His mom cooked Japanese food. Sister listened to some Japanese music, things like that. So I had a little bit of experience with the culture before I moved there, but not a whole bunch. My only other introduction to the culture back then was the instant ramen we all love to hate or hate to love or whatever. And then when I was little, I would spend some summers with my grandmother out in California. I don't remember if it was on KTLA or not, but there was this show, and I am going to go back when I edit this and put the show up here. But there was this show that was a golden robot living in a volcano or something. Excuse me. And he would go out and save the world, little episodic thingies like that. That was my only exposure. So when I was leaving for Japan, a lot of people told me a lot of misinformation. And I wrote it down because I can't remember shit. So they told me, and where's my list at? See, this is why it's not good to not plan this stuff out in advance. So they told me that Japanese people are shy and quiet. They all love sushi and anime and cute stuff, and they're all good at math. None of that is true. 99% of the time, boys and girls, anybody that tells you cultural stereotypes or absolutes are incorrect. I had friends that hated sushi. If I said, I want to go eat sushi, they'd be like, yeah, we're going to McDonald's. And the cute stuff and the anime. Japan has some really cool shows that are anime, not like we're thinking of, but they almost run like Seinfeld, Friends, sitcom type stuff where they've been going on for a long time. Those I don't consider anime. They're more like cartoons, but they get watched a lot and they're popular. Not everybody's a tech head. The work ethic, I think that one is more of a cultural thing because most people that I knew in Japan did bust ass at work. Maybe not as much so now, from what I understand. Japan's kind of going through what the States went through in the 60s, but I could be wrong because I'm out of the situation right now. Being polite, can't expressing their own opinions, always eating Japanese food, lightweight drinkers, not true at all either. I drank a lot when I was there for a little bit. I could get down a bottle and a half, almost 2 bottles of Jack, and I had friends that still drink me under the table. Expressing themselves, a lot of my friends were musicians and artists and entertainers, kind of wacky people. They were always very good at that. And here we are at 4:50 already. Man, this just went by quickly for me. Anyhow, I'm going to just cut it off. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Blah. I really do appreciate it. It is a very, very short ride. Live life, be kind. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.